Hello everyone, welcome back to Rolling Solo. My name is Adam Smith and we are playing the Panic Room, and as you can see, this side of the board has gotten extremely populated with rocks. We've got rocks falling from the ceiling everywhere, boulders all over the place. We have gone invisible. We're hiding right here, which doesn't even look like we're on the map, which we're kind of not. We're hiding in the shadows at the moment. We've got a summoned battle bot with us. We're ready to rip through this last tunnel here, which is full of poison damage traps, as well as a whole bunch of night demons that do not want to see us get out. Based on the scenario rules, the one last thing that we have to do in order to win this scenario is, let's see here, we escape occurs when all characters are either standing on an exit A, so we just have to be standing in one of these spots, and have become exhausted while standing on an A. So basically we just got to get here. Whether we get exhausted or not, we just got to get there. So that means even busting through traps and getting poisoned all the way through. As long as we get there, we're okay. So obviously there's a downside to ripping through traps and things like that, but we'll have to do what we can do. So what do we do here? Well, one thing I want to mention too in the previous video was I knocked this card, and from what I understand, this was actually right here. It was on the second one. So we'd only used it the one time. It wasn't down below, so when I moved some things of these cards, the cards fell over, bumped this track down to the other row. So that's squared away now, we're good to go there. So let's go. Let's go pick our two cards and get right into it. So we can choose to be smart here and go late. Now, because we're invisible, going early would be really stupid. We know we fought these night demons before. They have some really high or early initiative cards. Early initiatives mean that these guys would move their melee characters. They would definitely jam us up right here, which is where we don't want to be based on the scenario rules stating that rocks start falling here in rounds 11 and subsequent rounds. More rocks keep falling, so we don't want to be there. Regardless, we just don't want to be there. So we need to move under the cover of shadow, and we need to use that to our advantage to move as fast as possible. Even if that means taking damage, I think we still need to move. So what we're going to do is kind of do a couple things here that might be very, very involved in order to track. But we're going to go ahead and do this one at a time. So let's think about our Tinker. Actually, let's think about our Craighart first. So he's dead center right here. He could essentially go 1, 2, 3, 4. He'd end up landing on this trap. That is bad. He would get poisoned by landing on the trap. He would also take trap damage. Trap damage, from what I'm understanding, and it's not that I'm understanding, it's just from what I remember. If I do a quick jaunt back here to the solo scenario we're playing, trap damage is 5 for us. So if we hit that trap, we get damage 5. Now the Craighart can suck up that damage, no problem. Now what he can't suck up is the amount of damage coming from all the melee attacks that would hit him. So he's going to need some help, whether that be stuns or whatever, in order to avoid anything nasty coming his way. So things are looking kind of crazy, but I think if we make a really, really, really aggressive push with him, we might be able to make it through this. I don't know if that's possible, but we're going to try. So for the Craighart, his best opportunity would be likely. Now I have this here. I have this one here. It says 61. Says all adjacent allies and enemies suffer damage. First off, so that would mean I'd hurt all my guys around me. I could move and jump 4, and then all adjacent allies and enemies suffer 1 damage once I land. I can use the leaf element in order to get it up to 2 damage. So really, I'd just move. I would hurt everyone here, move 4 to here, take trap damage, and then hurt these 2 guys. So yay, that sounds okay, but at the same time, like, I don't know, hurting my own guys just doesn't seem useful, and putting 1 damage on these guys doesn't seem like the greatest time to use that yet. Using the massive boulder card where I just move 4 cleanly probably makes more sense. So that will get me to here, and then I would just, I would end up triggering the trap and being hit by it, which would be inconvenient. However, I could heal myself in order to try to, let's see here. Well, we do know the traps do 5 damage. So why don't we use, well, I don't have any, the hardest thing about this situation is I don't have any earth elemental boosted up, and because of that I have cards that can use push, but and then shove some of these guys into those traps, which would get rid of some of them. But currently I don't have any of that stuff generated, and I really do need it. the other thing that I think is really cool that the Tinkerer has, and maybe it'd be worthwhile to think about what the Tinkerer can do first, is we know this summon thing is going to move to, and he's going to focus on one of these guys, so he'll get to here. That's as far as he's going to get. The Tinkerer, on the other hand, like I have a move 4, so I could get the Tinkerer to go like 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, he would be on top of the battle bot, and then 4, he'd be here. If I moved him 4, I could then create one 6 damage trap here in adjacent hex, which would cause this guy to, I mean, if I'm blocking all these spots and there's nowhere else to go, he will go through a trap to get to me. So there'll be a trap here, let's say, and then he would probably try to move around this way to get to me, and he could cleanly. So that really wouldn't help all that much. It'd be better to probably stun them than it would be to do to try and stun them than do anything else. These guys are going to be able to move 4 on their turn. So they're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Like they're going to be able to come all the way through and be like sitting on top of me. So I'll have a whole bunch of them all clumped up here. And they're only ever going to go through the traps if it's the only way that they can, if it's the only way that they can get to me. So if it's the only way that they can actually go ahead with their movement, then they'll do it. But in most cases, they're going to try their best to avoid it. Because it says monsters without flying tree consider negative hexes like traps or hazards to be obstacles when determining focus, unless movement through one of those hexes is the only way they can focus on a target. In this case, they will move through the negative hex and suffer any consequences. So we can actually drag these guys through these, you know, and it might turn out okay for us. So let's just play this out, see what happens. So I'm thinking stunning is a good idea because I don't think we need to worry about trying to kill them. We're just got to get past them. That's all that matters. So let's get the movement going, and let's go early so we can get in there as fast as possible. So it's 4 for movement. And then maybe what we'll do is we will, oh, that's kind of sucky because the movement's on the bottom. Well, we probably should heal then. So maybe I'll just use the heal card. Yeah, so let's do that. We're not doing much damage. We're going to probably let the battle bot do some damage there. Same thing with the Cragheart, move 4. Then once he moves 4, we need to do something really, really aggressive in terms of, I don't know what. We need to pull something off here. The Cragheart could... What do I do? This move and jump would be really effective if I can get the Cragheart to 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna have the Cragheart land on this, so I'm gonna want to heal him. So let's do 29. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do something kind of suicidal here, and just hope this pans out because it's gonna be really dicey. Now we got to remember we want to go late because we're invisible. So let's force ourselves to go late. This is going to cause. Now that's not a very late card, so maybe I need to change that up. This was going to be used for a heal and a move. Shoot, I don't have any really late cards for that. I don't really want to show up too early. I can't afford to show up too early. So I'd rather attack. I'd rather just do, or create a damage. I don't know. That could hurt me though. Ooh, pulling hook gun. Hey, that's nice. I like that. So yes, perfect, awesome. Okay, don't know why I didn't think of that earlier. Perfect. Here we go. Done. 72 and 87, guys. Sorry, it took for a while to plan that one out. Okay, so Night Demon is 41. All right, interesting. And then the deep tears are 75. Oh, so it looks like the Tinker is going to become exposed, and then the deep tears will be going. Good. Oh, but the good thing is deep tears are over here, so we should be through the door. So we're going to go ahead with the first characters. The first characters are the Night Demons. They're going to move and attack. They're going to infuse the area with the night element. There are no enemies on the board whatsoever to move and attack to. The night element does get infused though, but there's nothing they can do in terms of focusing and doing an attack. So there we go. That's the end of their turn. That's awesome. Thankfully, because we're hidden. Oh, sorry. Actually, never mind. We got the summons here. So that summons actually going to draw them. Shoot. That's terrible. Go away, summons. Why are you causing me this grief? So they're going to go ahead. We'll do this one at a time. So this one here, he can move up to 4. And he's got a movement -1. So 1, 2, 3. Actually, he can only get to here. Oh no. They're going to block everything up. This is terrible. So he can attack, but he's too far away. Now this guy can move 3 as his max movement. So he's going to kind of, go to here. Actually, would he go 1, 2, 3? Yeah, he would. Yeah, he would. Because so basically with movement here, he would go like 1. This is where the movement part gets very interesting. So if he's to move 3, 1, 2, 3, he can't stop on the same spot he's in. But if he can focus, as it says in the rules here, it says monsters interaction with traps. It says monsters without flying trait consider negative hexes to be obstacles, like I'd read before, determining focus and movement, unless movement through one of these hexes is the only way they can focus on a target. In this case, they will move through the negative hex and suffer any consequences. So this guy is going to move through this hex and suffer that consequence. So he is going to become poisoned, and on top of it, he's hit for 5 damage. So that's awesome. So that means we did some damage to the Night Demon, and we didn't even have to do anything. Now the worst part of it is he's going to attack. His attack is +1, and he attacks at a crazy 4. So it's going to be 5. And if he pulls something nastier like this, like a 6, he is literally in one swipe totally dismantled and destroyed the bot. The bot is gone that quickly. This card is lost. That's terrible news. That didn't take much. So there you go. That is the end of that. So then the now after the oh shoot. Reverse. We got to play this differently. We got to do this correct. It's based on the number of... Sorry, guys. I'm not going to make these mistakes. So this guy's going to go here. What happens actually in this case is we got to go by the number. So we are initiating based on number. We did number 1. We did it correctly. We'll take the poison away. We did number 1. We did it correctly. We'll take the damage off. Did number 1. We did that correctly. We got to go to number 2 next, which is this guy. So he's going to go 1, 2, 3. Then we go to number 3. And we do number 3's movement, which is walking through the damage trap that was here. He comes here, he fights, he flips this card. All the same stuff happens. 5 damage goes on. The dangerous summon is killed off, so it is lost. Nothing changes there. He is dead. So I just want to do that in correct order so you guys can see that visually. And at this point, and the reason this is important is because this guy was able to move. This guy won't be able to move because he can't find focus. There are no enemies on the board right now, so he is going to stay put, leaving us a nice trail. So the summons might have actually kind of helped us out. So now that we've done that, for the Night Demons, we can actually jump to the hook, or we can jump to the Tinkerer right away. Now the Tinkerer obviously lost his friend. He lost his battle bot, which is terrible news. But he is going to go ahead and do his move 4 in order to get past these guys. Now, the worst part of what the situation is, obviously, there's somebody in his way now. And so that makes things in life much more difficult, because prior to this, he could have just run through this particular situation and just taken the damage. So the one thing I want to double check on with traps is I just want to be sure... 100% sure, so I don't look at this later and regret my life or my decision. But there are, okay, so traps here say, when a trap is sprung, it inflicts the negative effect on the figure sprung, and then it is removed from the board. A trap can also be disarmed. Occasionally most going to create traps. The board, which applies to reference. Yeah. Cool. So what we could do is we could run around it. Like my Tinker's here, I could go like 1, 2, 3, 4. I would take the damage of this trap though, which is not exactly what I want to do, but I need to get in there. Like I don't have the time to kind of dilly-dally. But this is where we just don't have the time. We have to go. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to land on this trap. I'm taking the damage from this trap, which is going to effectively poison me. And then on top of it, it's going to hit me for the 5 trap damage of the scenario, which I'm going to take painfully down to 3. And I'm still going. I have a I've moved, and now I'm going to do is I'm going to do I did a move 4, and I'm going to do this attack 2, and I'm going to pull the number 4 character. I'm trying to think what makes more sense. Yeah, I'll pull this number 4 guy. I'll pull him into this trap here. Or wait, I can't do that. I have to pull someone within range. Shoot! It's this is terrible. No! My hook gun makes no sense now because of where I had to go. If I pull anyone, I have to pull them closer to me, so I can only pull him here, which is useless. I can't even target any of these guys. Pulling these guys is essentially useless. However, I could shoot. I could just say, you know what, forget it. I'll just shoot the guy who I know is weak, which is number 3, so I'll shoot him just to get him off the board. So let's do that. Let's attack him. Even though I'm disadvantaged, I'm going to go for it. We're going to do this attack. Now, it's an attack 2, range 3. What I'm going to do, and this may be a terrible time to do this, but ugh. Do I use the volatile bomb? Now they're together. Does it make sense? Yeah, let's do it, because I'm running through. Let's just do it. I'm using the volatile bomb, so I'm turning the attack into a area of effect attack, which is going to hit both of these. So the hook gun now, I'm going to take a shot at this guy. I'm disadvantaged because the Night Demons disadvantaged me. So I'm going to go ahead and flip this for the first attack. ×2, oh my gosh, and I'm watching me get like a -1 because anything's going to be worse than this. Oh, +1, okay, good. So we ended up getting 3 on number 1. Oh, geez, I wish I'd have got that on the first one. So number 1 just got hit for 3, so that's not bad. In terms of the hook gun, the pull, I don't have to do this. That's up to me as to whether or not I want to pull him, and I don't. I'm just going to leave him there. Then the other attack here is going to go against, what I was talking about was this guy right here. I'm now going to attack number 3, who I know is weak. So here we go. I'm disadvantaged for this attack as well. Actually, I'm already disadvantaged, and I'm beside him using a ranged attack, so I'm doubly disadvantaged, but there is no such thing in Gloomhaven. You can't be doubly disadvantaged. I'm not going to pull this 3 times to take the worst. The game states you are just disadvantaged, and I'm already disadvantaged based on the Night Demon saying that attackers gain disadvantage. So, was that confusing? I think so. All right, so 0 and 0, perfect. So 2 damage. 2 damage is enough. That's awesome. So the hook gun actually ends up killing this guy. He's gone, and we do drop a coin for him because he was part of the scenario. So he is dead. We did something. So the hook gun is gone. The move 4 is gone. Well done, Tinker. You have done your job helping out everyone. Now it is the end of the Tinker's turn. The invisibility is going to come off. He pops back on the board. He's still poisoned though, but hey, we're getting closer. Now let's move over to the Craighheart, who's next in the initiative order. What is his plan of attack? Well, he could be super aggressive, and let's think. Probably healing. Healing the Tinker at this point is probably high on the agenda, but that sucks. We have to use a heal 4 on him for that. But you know what? The Craighheart can take a lot of damage right now. He wants to be a good friend, so he's going to heal his buddy. So he's first going to do a 4, so he's going to go 1, 2, 3, and we can move through our own guys, no problem. I'm going to move to here, though, instead of moving there so that I can get around. And then, so I've gone ahead and moved 4, so this is now discarded. And then I'm going to go ahead and do a heal 4 from range. So I'm going to heal the Tinker. Remember, when there's poison involved, only the poison gets taken away. I do not get the benefit of the 4 health. Oh, one thing I do get for the Tinker, though, is the Tinker killed this guy. And because of the Necklace of Teeth, I forgot to bump him up by 1. So let's do that. So he's up to 4 now. All right, awesome. So then we're going to go ahead and discard this one. So he just essentially, the Craighheart just essentially healed the Tinker, goes in the discard pile. Then we're going to go ahead and the Craighheart comes out of the shadows back onto the board. Both guys are back, making their mad dash to the end of this thing. So that is the end of their turns. Next up is the Deep Terror. Deep Terrors are going to attack everyone that's adjacent and disarm people and attack people from range, blah, 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 blah. Doesn't matter. They're too far away. At this point, I don't even think they can do anything. They can't even reach me. So 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I think their worst attack that I've seen is, that I know of anyways, they have this weird spawning one that if you're within range 6, you get hit with more deep tears or something crazy, but I think we're so far away now. I'll keep flipping them just for the heck of it, but there might be a rule, I'm blocking out a little bit as to whether once you get out of there, whether you have to keep flipping it, but I'll do it just to save face. But yeah, we're doing all right? We're not doing too bad here. So I think this is a good time to end it. We have a couple shuffle symbols to do. The night is going to wane down. I guess the one thing we also have to do before I move this round marker up is do our wonderful poll for how much pain and suffering is going to happen here in the other room. So 9. So what is going to happen with 9? Well, a gigantic, nasty boulder is going to fall, and it's going to land right here. So now the problem is that I had put an obstacle there myself earlier in the game, but now 1 fills that entire section. A 2 obstacle is going to drop right here. So good thing we're out of that space, because that got a little cluttered, and that's it. So that's essentially the rest of the stuff that's fallen. We are now going to be moving into the 8th round coming up next. So we're doing really good. We're really ahead of schedule, to be honest. I have to do some shuffling. I have to shuffle my ×2 modifiers. The Tinker's deck gets shuffled. This is going to get shuffled. We'll be back in the next episode, and we will do our final push to get to the end of this crazy haul. All right, guys. So until the next episode, if you like what you see, give me a thumbs up. Let me know if you are a new subscriber and haven't seen any of my previous stuff. Then I really do think that we're moving along at a much better clip than we did way back at the beginning. I honestly think I'm catching, I have much better grasp on the game. There's a lot of ins and outs to keep track of when you're playing this way, especially when you're recording it and trying to remember everything. But it's been a blast, and I really want to thank you guys for being there to support me as I went through it, and also for all the checkups and feedback and rule checks along the way. It's been awesome help. I appreciate all of it. In the next video, I will continue. Hope to see you there. Keep rolling solo.